guys, it's Carrie. Thank you so much for coming back and being with me today. So today I am going to be creating my spread for the week of April 6th through the 12th, which also happens to be the week of Easter. I had all sorts of Eastery plans for my Easter spread. I really wanted to go pastel and do all the eggs and the candies and the baskets and all those kinds of things, but it just wasn't there. And if you have seen one of my recent videos, I'm kind of crawling myself out of a creative slump. So I'm really trying to just follow my inspiration right now. So my inspiration, unfortunately, was not with traditional Easter decorations, but I did find inspiration when I was watching another YouTube video. I was watching Casey from Fly by the Seat of Your Plans, and she was doing a spread with lots of reds and like blues and turquoises and stuff like that, and I just loved the color combo. So that's what I really wanted to do in my spread for this week. And when I thought about what I wanted to do that would incorporate some red, I immediately thought of Poppies. I can't shake the florals lately. I don't know what it is, but I'm gonna roll with it. So I want to do a poppy spread and then just accent it with some turquoise colors. So I have my sketches here. So I really want to have what looks kind of like a field of poppies. So I'm gonna be drawing a lot. So I grabbed a couple of reference pictures and just sketched them out so that I would have all different kinds of angles and profiles and all that kind of stuff of the poppy. I was playing with two different reds, so some of these poppies are more of like a hot red with like a yellow undertone, and then some of them are more of a pinky red with more of a blue undertone. So I was trying to decide between which red that I wanted to use. I ended up, I think I want to go with the more yellow red because it's more of that vibrant red that I like. And then I tried out two different turquoises and they look almost exactly the same, but one is just a smidgen darker than the other. So I went with the slightly lighter one because I didn't want it to look too blue. So that is the direction that I'm heading. That's really the only idea that I have so far, is that I know I definitely want to incorporate poppies and then definitely have some turquoise accents in there. So I guess we'll just see where this all takes us. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, here we go. So normally when I'm doing a floral spread, I tend to do gigantic flower bulbs everywhere, but this week for some reason, I don't know what inspired me to do this, but I decided to do small poppies lining the bottom of the page, which is a little bit out of my range of what I normally do, so it was nice to switch it up. I think it ends up looking really nice, but drawing all these flowers small was a little bit of a challenge for me, but that's why it was so nice to do my reference sketches first, so that I could kind of practice drawing them larger. And so when I went to draw them really small like this, then I had already been around the block once or twice. So I am just alternating which one of my little reference poppies that I'm drawing. So I'm going to do each individual one and then I'll kind of loop back through, but I'll change up the order. And the ones that I do a repeat of, I'll kind of switch the angle or tilt it a little bit differently or draw the stem in a different curve or angle or something like that. And then that way each and every one of these poppies looks different and it looks like a field of poppies where not a single one is exactly the same. That dang crease gets me every time, especially when I'm drawing really small like this. So now I'm starting to circle back through and repeat different poppies that I have already drawn. So I have kind of, I keep tilting my notebook because I'm trying to draw the same flower that I've already drawn, but I'm trying to draw it in a different position so that it looks a little bit different than the last one that I drew. I'm also making them different heights too. So if I'm repeating one of the different poppy positions that I've already done, then I'll try to not only tilt it and make it, sit at a different angle, but I'll also try to make it a different height than the previous one that looks similar to it. Last one almost done. So up here I have this box there because I have the last couple of finishing touches arriving for my office that day, so that's why I have a box there. So I'm just decorating the corner of the box with two of my little poppy designs. And then I'm also going to go back through and add the little poppy buds as well, just to add a little bit more fun and cuteness. And I'm adding these little like spotty dotty polka dots over here, and I originally added them just for a little extra touch of decoration and cuteness, but then when they're all colored in, they actually kind of look like poppy seeds, which is like so perfect. So it was a happy accident, but I'm gonna pretend like it was on purpose, so lie for me, okay? This struggle that I'm having right now is because I want my little cluster of poppies right here to be in the bottom right corner of the box to offset the top left corner, but I want the stems to go behind the box, but I was having issues because I didn't want the poppies to be upside down, so I was trying to place the flowers and the stems so that they could be where I wanted them to be without being upside down and having the stems go behind the box. So that's what that was about. And then over here, I am just adding the same sort of idea over here, but this is my Easter box. So down here, I am adding in the little buds for the poppies, so the little poppies that just haven't bloomed yet, and that's just going to fill in some of the negative space that I have going on, but then it's also just going to add a little bit more of that red color that I was so inspired by. So what's also fun is that when you look at when you Google pictures of a poppy field, you'll see all these really pretty poppies in all these different positions, but then you'll also see these little scraly buds that they just like swirl and twirl in all different kinds of directions. So they're just little, like, they're cute and whimsical, and I just felt that they just needed to be a part of this spread. So I'm using a dark red, bright red, and then a fine tip black pen. So I'm using the dark red so that I can go in and do my shading, but then also add depth and dimension between each petal, because I don't want them all to blend together and just make one big red blob. So that's what the dark red is for, just kind of the, shading and dimension. And then I'm using the Prismacolor Premier, I think it was an 03 tip that I was using. Maybe it was an 01, I'm not quite sure. But it was definitely on the finer side, just to really get into these little teeny tiny flowers. But I was kind of using like a stippling technique inside, because the black center it has a lot of texture to it. So I was using kind of like a stippling technique, and then also using some like hatching techniques with the lines. And then just repeating that all the way across. So I always did the dark red first, and then filled in with the bright red, and then I would go in and draw out the center with the black pen. I'm not really sure why I felt the need to do it this way, rather than going through and doing all of the flowers with the dark red and doing all of the flowers with the bright red and so on, like an assembly line. But I don't know, I think I just really wanted to see each flower come together before I moved on to the next one. So I didn't want to start doing the red lines on all of the flowers and then go in and start doing the, filling in with the bright red and realizing that they're not looking the way that I want to. And then I now have to figure out how to fix every single flower. So yeah, I think that's why I was doing this like painstaking technique of put one marker down, pick the other marker up, put the other marker down, pick the pen up, and all of that kind of stuff. But no regrets, because I think it turned out great, and I also didn't have like, a miniature meltdown throughout the process of like, oh my god, it's not working out the way I wanted it to. So I'm going in with another Prismacolor Premier pen. I think this one is the 05 tip. I used a slightly larger tip for this. I decided to go with black stems rather than going for a green color. I think because since I had my heart set on this red and turquoise theme, I just really didn't want to like muck it up with putting green in there and then being sad that, I just didn't want to jeopardize my red and turquoise color scheme. So I decided to just stick with black for my stems, and I am happy with that decision. I'm glad that I didn't risk it for trying to throw some green in there. And once again, I'm just going through and painstakingly making each flower perfect one at a time. If you were to recreate this spread or just make a poppy spread in general, and you definitely don't have to do it this way. It would probably be a lot faster to, do it the other way, where you're just using one color and then you go back and do the next color and so on and so forth. But I don't know. I just needed to do it this way for whatever reason that was. I'm not really sure, but for my own sanity, that's just what I ended up with. But don't ever think that you have to do things the way that my crazy brain thinks that they need to be done. So, disclaimer for you. So I just put all of the turquoise borders around my boxes, and I'm in love. I'm already loving this color combo. I'm so happy I went with the black stems. I'm all about it. So my only regret in this spread is how I am doing the headers. I was trying to redeem the headers from my pastel flower spread from a couple weeks ago. I'll try to link it up in the cards. But I remember thinking like, oh, if I would have just done this smaller, this would have been so cute. So for this spread, I was like, okay, I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to do it smaller, and I'm going to like it. But I think just because it is so chunky, like the background letters are so clunky and chunky, that I just think that something less big and fat would have been prettier with this spread. I think it would have gone nicer together. But I don't hate it. It's not terrible. I just think that something else would have probably looked better. But, these are the things that Carrie just needs to get out of her system in order to, live and learn. So that's what happens. So down in my next week box, I went through and outlined the red text with my fine tip black pen. And I'm just going through and filling in my very few plans that I have for the quarantine that we're currently experiencing. So even though we can't go out anywhere, we're still going to do an Easter egg hunt and all that kind of stuff. I definitely want to get my office makeover video uploaded this week. So Wednesday is when all of my stuff is supposed to come in. So Thursday is when I want to try to finish editing the video, put all the last bit of footage in, and get that uploaded for you guys because I'm so excited for you to see it. So I loved it so far, but I was like, it's feeling a little bit bare. So I decided to look for some quotes to put in here. So I found one that said, "All good things are wild and free." And I love that quote because I think it goes really well with the poppy field theme and just how they, I don't know, just how they grow in all these crazy directions and they just kind of do whatever they want and it's fun and it's cute. So I thought that it went really well. Doesn't exactly go with this phase of life since we're all kind of the opposite of wild and free right now. We're all just kind of like, you know, in jail at home, house arrest. But we will get through it. We will be wild and free again one day, very soon. So this quote up here is, "All you need is love," because I am a little bit sad and bummed that Easter is going to be spent at home with just the four of us rather than, you know, seeing all of our family and friends and stuff. But I am just trying to remember that all you need is love. We're together. I'm with my husband. I'm with my kids. And, you know, that's all we need. So I need to be grateful for what I have and not be sad for what I am going to be missing out on. So I'm going through and my plan was to do love in red, and I just got carried away and forgot. I was so mad at myself, but I am, you know, just rolling with it. I forgave myself, and so I'm going to go through and just make it like it wasn't, you know, it was intentional, and then I'm going to add a little red heart inside of the O just because I couldn't let go of having a little bit of red inside of this quote. I'm going through because my L's ended up a little too chunky for me, so I went through with my white paint marker just to thin them out a little bit. So I'm going to go through and do all of my lines. I almost thought I was done. I was like, there it is. Nope, not yet. I still have to do the lines. So just dividing out each day. And I think I'm using one of my really big, one of the fatter tips for this, like the 05 tip pen. And just going back over that just to make sure that none of that black marker is showing through. And there's my little red heart because I just couldn't let it go. I needed some red in the quote. And just erasing all those pencil lines so that it looks perfecto. And then I just wanted some more of these totally intentional poppy seeds. There it is. It is all done. I really hope you guys like it. I love it. It's exactly what I wanted. So, yay! Okay guys, thank you so much for being here today. If you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram because I'm really growing my tribe over there, and I do giveaways sometimes. I do polls a lot just to kind of see what you guys want to see from me as far as YouTube and my Etsy store and that kind of thing. So if you would like to weigh in or if you would like to win prizes, then head on over to Instagram and follow me at Carrie Bowberry Co. And then if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up or subscribe if you haven't already. And any feedback that you guys have, I always love hearing from you. So leave me a little comment. I love connecting with you guys. And yeah, I just want to get to know all of my followers and subscribers and everything like that. So thank you guys so much for being here. After my last week's little, I guess like little hissy fit slump that I was having, you know, just the quarantine situation. I think we're on like week 3 now, so I know that I personally have had my ups and downs with it. Some days, like today, I'm all optimistic about it and like, you know, happy to stay home because I'm keeping my family safe and we're gonna do all the fun things at home. And then some days I'm like, I'm never getting out of here. So I go back and forth, and I'm sure you do too. So you're not alone. And I try to remind myself that neither am I. So we're in this together. We're going to get through it, and it's going to be amazing. So until then, well, not until then, until next time, because I'll probably see you guys again before this quarantine is over. But you know what? That's okay, because I'm happy to have you, and I hope that you're happy to have me as well. So thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time.